Well, good morning, everybody. I'm coming to you from the Explorer Journeys 2. I'm currently sailing in the Mediterranean, and yes, even your favorite Santa goes into the Mediterranean. Look, you guys, it's 2 months until our exciting Christmas market cruise. It's going to be so much fun. We have so many wonderful things planned, and we've been doing quite a lot of work behind the scenes. I've been wanting to make this update for a while, but I was waiting for some of the last answers to come in from the form I sent out in July, asking for people's arrival and departure information, because I want to help coordinate things for you as best as possible. So this video is going to talk about before the cruise, during the cruise, and after the cruise. And a lot of you, 100 of you, in fact, are doing my pre-cruise land tour in Frankfurt and Braunfels, starting officially on December 4th. And then 40 of you, maybe 42, are doing the post-trip in Strasbourg. So what I'd like to do is break this down. First, I want to talk to the people who are not doing anything with me before the cruise. About 50 of you, 55 of you, have chosen to arrange your own pre-cruise travel. That means that your first encounter with me and the group is going to be at the ship, at the Amadeus Star, in the port of Nuremberg. We do board on December the 8th. You can start boarding at any time you like after, I believe they said 10 a.m. Final exact documentation will come approximately 3 weeks before sailing. They don't send things out too early these days. However, what I can tell you, the ship is going to be docked at the port of Nuremberg. It's the river ship port of Nuremberg, which lies 15 minutes outside of the city center. That means nobody should really go to the ship until they're ready to embark and stay there. Many of you have been on river cruises before, and perhaps you're used to being able to go and drop your bags at the ship and then walk into town and do some exploration. For example, in Vienna, in Amsterdam, in Budapest. Nuremberg is a different port. Because we are a bit outside, you're not going to want to go to the ship until you're ready to stay there. Now, cabins are officially available at 3 p.m., but you can go to the ship a little bit before that, drop your bags, and you'll be able to stay in the lounge. You'll be able to go up on deck if the weather is nice. You could walk up and down the port area, but I will tell you from experience, the Nuremberg port is not very interesting. Plus, why would you want to miss any time that you could spend in Nuremberg? Now, the majority of you are going to fly directly into Frankfurt, and that means you're going to need to get yourselves from Frankfurt down to Nuremberg. So far, most of the people that I've been communicating with and helping are flying into Frankfurt several days early. They're going to spend a night or two in Frankfurt, and then they're going to take German railways, Deutsche Bahn, down from Frankfurt to Nuremberg. It is a very easy direct train from the Frankfurt Hauptbahnhof, which means main station, to the Nuremberg Hauptbahnhof. Now, regardless of where you stay in Frankfurt, you're probably going to want to take a taxi to the Frankfurt main train station so that you're not struggling with luggage. Maybe you're adventurous and you don't mind lugging your bags and you want to take the tram or the S-Bahn or the U-Bahn. That's totally fine. My recommendation is just to take a taxi to the main train station. Always arrive 30 minutes before your train is set to depart. There will be a very large board showing all of the train departures, what track your train will be located at. It's generally also on your ticket as well, but just double check that big board when you come into the main station. There are tons of food stalls and even a McDonald's or something like that and a Starbucks. arrive with enough time to get yourself some snacks to enjoy on the ride down to Nuremberg. We like to do a picnic, so we'll go in and we'll get a little bottle of champagne, and we'll go to one of the bakeries and get some bread and maybe get some cheeses and meats. There's pretzel stands, there's all sorts of food offerings in the Frankfurt main station. Of course, there are some things also on board the train. The majority of trains that go between Frankfurt and Nuremberg are the high-speed ICE trains, and they have a bistro on board. But those offerings are slim pickings. It's fine for drinks, but I definitely recommend to do it that way. Once you arrive in the Nuremberg main station and you go out the front entrance, now I have recommended to everyone who has asked me to stay in the Cloud Motel, which is part of the Motel 1 chain in Germany. It's a very cute, trendy, clean, well-priced motel. It's great for a night or two. The rooms are not extra fancy. In fact, I don't think they even have phones in them. But they have a TV, they have a nice bed, they have a decent bathroom, they have a wonderful lobby and a great bar area for you to kind of congregate and enjoy each other's company when you're not out and about. But the best part is it's directly across the street from the entrance to medieval Nuremberg and the big city wall. So regardless of what time you arrive, now let's say you arrive before your rooms are ready, the hotel will happily hold your bags, and then you can go over into the city and explore for a while and then come back and check in. Now keep in mind, you're going to be in Nuremberg on a weekend and an Advent weekend, so it's going to be very, very crowded. Be prepared for the crowds. Nuremberg is a very safe city, but of course, in such situations, there's always pickpockets roaming around. So one, don't bring anything that you don't want to risk. It's not like Barcelona, but there's always one or two people that they could find themselves at the mercy of a pickpocket. So just don't make yourselves targets. Don't be flashy, even as you're packing. This is not a fashion show. Do not bring your favorite jewelry. Do not bring things like that at all. But specifically, if you're going to be walking around the town in a big crowd, and as you get closer to the main Christmas market, it gets pretty tight, so be very careful. When you come into the medieval city, on the left, you'll see a cute little medieval street that has a small little market. As you go down the main thoroughfare, there's lots and lots of shops and stores and restaurants and pubs. There's a children's Christmas market off to the right. The main Christmas market is on the main square in front of the famous church. And they, it will be crowded, but just take your time. I'm going to talk about how to approach Christmas markets in general, a little bit more into this, but just enjoy the atmosphere. Have a nice glass of Glühwein in one place, move on. Have some Lebkuchen, which Nuremberg is famous for their gingerbreads. There are some special stores there like Lebkuchen Schmidt, where a lot of people like to go and buy special gifts. I'm going to give you a secret. Don't buy gingerbread at Lebkuchen Schmidt because you'll pay 3 times the price. There is an Edeka grocery store right off of the square, and if you go into any German grocery store, you will find an amazing selection of very delicious, very high quality German cookies. Buy your cookies there and then buy a tin at one of the stalls or one of the stores, and then you have a great souvenir either for yourself or for a family member at 1/3 of the price. So Nuremberg also has great, they're called Nürnberger restaurants. Nuremberg is famous for the small little sausages. Go into one of those, have a beer and a plate of sausages. They come with sauerkraut or mashed potatoes or pommes frites, which are French fries. That is definitely a must-do. But regardless of when you arrive in Nuremberg, on the 8th, when you check out is usually at noon. Again, ask the hotel to hold your bags, go into the city for a little while to, enjoy some of the things that there are to do in Nuremberg. Make sure you make it up to the castle. When it's time to go to the ship, I don't recommend going before, say, 3 o'clock. Just go back to the hotel. Because the hotel is connected and right part of the main station, there'll be a line of taxis there. You guys can share. I will make a list of who is staying in that hotel, so that you guys can maybe touch base with each other in our Facebook group, and maybe you decide you all want to share taxi vans going out to the ship. It's about a 10-15 minute ride depending on traffic. Should cost anywhere from 20 to 30 euros depending on the size of the vehicle and, again, how busy it is to get there. You will have a document with you that you can even show to the taxi driver, but every taxi driver knows the river cruise port in Nuremberg, so don't worry about that. It's pretty simple. So that's for those arriving in Nuremberg alone. And this is also regardless of if you go to Prague before you come to Nuremberg, if you go to Frankfurt before you come to Nuremberg, or those few of you are also going to Munich before you come to Nuremberg. I do recommend that you at least come to Nuremberg on the 7th to have a full day and the part of the 8th to enjoy Nuremberg, because if you don't, you won't see Nuremberg. Our cruise is from Nuremberg to Strasbourg, but it does not include either of those port stops as part of the itinerary with time to explore. So you need to do those on your own. So for those of you who are on my pre-cruise land tour with Frankfurt and Braunfels, that official schedule is from December the 4th through the 8th. It includes 2 nights in Frankfurt and 2 nights in the cute little wonderful fairy tale town of Braunfels, where I used to live. Well, I used to live in both places, of course. There are a few of you who will start arriving as early as the 2nd. Terry and I will be arriving on the 3rd, but officially there are no organized activities or check-in until the 4th. So please, anyone who's arriving early, you have to arrange your own time in Frankfurt. We will be busy on the night of the 3rd with some of our Frankfurt friends, so we won't be available to do group things until the 4th, and we'll start seeing people at breakfast on the 4th. People, when you fly into Frankfurt, I do not recommend you pre-booking a airport to hotel transfer. Reason being, you never know how long the immigration line is going to be. You never know how long it's going to take to your luggage. And the majority of transfer companies only allow 1 hour of waiting time from when you schedule the pickup. Now, if you absolutely 100% want to arrange a pre-cruise transfer from the airport to the hotel, book your transfer or have me book your transfer 30 to 45 minutes after your landing time. That gives an extra hour of waiting time. So let's say you land at 10 a.m. I would suggest scheduling the transfer for 10:45 a.m., which then gives you a window of waiting time until 11:45 a.m. If that's what you absolutely want, I'll do it, but I will caution you, if for some reason your flight is delayed, you won't be able to reach the driver to adjust the time. If there's a long delay for bags and immigration and your transfer leaves without you, you will have paid for a transfer and wind up having to take a taxi anyway. That's why I really recommend that for a stress-free arrival, you land, you go through immigration, you collect your bags, and then simply follow the signs to the official taxi stand. You can very confidently take and safely take a taxi from the airport, from the official taxi stand, and that means that you do not get into a taxi of someone who's like, hey, they're standing there and they're saying, hey, do you need a ride? And they walk you to their taxi. You follow the signs to the official taxi stand. The ride from the Frankfurt airport to the Fleming Select Hotel at Eschenheimer Tor, which is where we're staying, takes approximately 15, maximum 20 minutes if there's traffic. The ride should cost anywhere from 25 to 30 euros per cab. So if there's two of you, or it's not expensive and it's not long. And they will take you right from the airport to the door of the hotel. It's very, very simple. Some of you might want to take public transportation. You can do that too. Eschenheimer Tor is the location of our hotel, and there are trains from the airport. It's called an S-Bahn. You would follow the signs. It's a green symbol with a white S. You go to the S-Bahn, and the train's going towards this area. You would take an S8 or an S9, direction Hanau or Offenbach, and you would get off at the at Hauptwache. That's, let's see, it's approximately 4 or 5 stops after the airport. You'd come up at the Hauptwache, and then you'd walk up to the Eschenheimer Tor to the hotel. And so if you want to take public transport, you can, but I don't recommend it, because then, you're struggling with your bags and you're tired. Just 25 euros, and you have the confidence and the ease of going with a taxi. Now, on the arrival day, December the 4th, Terry and I will be at the hotel. When you come into the hotel, there is it's a big lobby, and on the right is a restaurant. We'll be sitting in there from like 10 till 12, then we'll have lunch, and we'll be there again from like 1 till 3 to welcome everyone who arrives. But in the evening, we have an unofficial activity planned. There are 2 very special Christmas markets in Frankfurt that are a little bit off the beaten path. The first one is on the top of a parking garage, because I'm classy. This is a really special Christmas market that mostly only Frankfurters know about, and I will be departing the hotel. All this information will be in the trip book. I'll be departing the hotel and walking everybody down to this particular Christmas market, directing everybody up to the top level. And what's special about this particular Christmas market, because it's on the top of the car park, you're surrounded by all the skyscrapers of Frankfurt. So it's a very special feel, it's a very special environment, and it's just something you wouldn't see probably if you were not with me. We're going to spend a little time there just having some Glühwein, having some little food, taking some pictures, getting the feel of the environment. And then we're going to move on to our next Christmas market, which is called the Pink Christmas Market. It's on another square that you probably wouldn't stumble upon very obviously if you weren't looking for it. And it is run by Frankfurt's LGBT community, and it's kind of like a disco Christmas market. It's a lot of fun. So, of course, you might want to go out on your own that evening, go for a lovely dinner, or just wander around. Frankfurt is a major shopping mecca. We're staying in the heart of the shopping area. Maybe you want to do some shopping. However, that night on the 4th, those are the activities that I have planned for everyone, just to kind of get them settled in. Those walks will also give you an orientation as to where our hotel is in relation to other things in Frankfurt. Also, on the 4th, as you arrive, I'm probably going to have this with your check-in, but I have included hop-on, hop-off tickets for the Frankfurt hop-on, hop-off bus for you to do some exploration in your free time. Because even though we are going to be staying in the city kernel of Frankfurt, where everything is reachable easily by foot, Frankfurt is spread out. It's on both sides of the river, and the hop-on, hop-off bus would give you a nice view of the overall city. If the weather is nice, if you've got extra time, this is a lovely way to spend on the 4th or in the afternoon of the 5th. On the 5th, we have morning activities with tours. All of you have been filling out your forms. We're going to do a walking tour of the city. There are tours at 10 and 11. There are multiple groups, and I will be putting everyone in their groups of family and friends, trying to keep everyone together. We do have a gentle walkers tour at the 10 o'clock time. I've been, marking everybody off on the list and making your arrival and grouping people together so that I know that friends are the friends. We are not going to have an organized lunch in Frankfurt. I've decided to move that to Braunfels because I want you to have the freedom to move around. And it was very difficult to find a place in Frankfurt during the Advent season that would take a group of 100. So you're going to be, after your Frankfurt tour, you're going to be free to explore the city. There are some wonderful museums. There's wonderful natural history museums. There's art museums. There are 2 different Jewish history museums. The Goethe House is there if you're interested in one of Germany's great literary figures. Plus, again, there's wonderful streets, there's wonderful restaurants. Over on the opposite side of the river in Sachsenhausen, there's some very charming places to go and explore. So we're only going to have 2 days there, and there's a lot to do, so, you certainly have things to keep you company. For our Christmas market visit on the night of the 5th, one of my driving ideas about your Christmas market time and my land package is that you get to visit a German Christmas market the way that we enjoy them in Germany. We don't go to Christmas markets to do shopping. We go to see friends, drink delicious things, and eat delicious things, and enjoy the atmosphere. That means that we don't just go to the market, walk through every stall up and down, and then say, oh, I'm finished, and then be like, what's there to do now? We go to the market. We usually start off, we meet a small group of friends in this one little area, and we will be starting our Christmas market visit at my traditional point where I used to entertain all of my English students every year, which is just at the main Christmas tree, at the manger. There's a wonderful little Glühwein bar that we go to every year. We start there, called the Alte Limburger. That's where we'll start. And a lot of my Frankfurt friends are going to be coming out to meet you, to see me, to chat with you, make you feel like you are a visiting local, and give you that special feeling of coming to the market to get together and enjoy a time of friendship. And that's really something that's very important. The feeling of friendship and using the market's atmosphere to have a nice time. And you don't rush through a market. You stand here, you have a wine or two here, then you move on to a stand. There's some places that we go to eat the potato pancakes. We do that, and then we move on to another place, and we have, instead of the traditional red wine Glühwein, we go to a stand that has the white Glühwein, and then we move on to another one that has Feuerzangenbowle, which is another special hot drink that we do. And we stand around and we enjoy those beautiful traditions of the markets. That's why you're there. You're not there to rush through. But I will tell you, the Frankfurt Christmas market is very, very laid out. You have the main market on the main square of the Romer. Then they've expanded the market over the years, all the way up along the Hauptwache, all along the Zeil. So there is a lot to see and a lot to do. But again, it's all about finding those special locations to hang out and to be with your friends and to take it all in. After our time in Frankfurt, on December the 6th, we're going to be moving on to the little town of Braunfels. Now, we have 100 people on the pre-tour. I have 3 buses arranged for us so that we're not overly crowded in the buses. I have already made everybody acknowledge that they're only going to bring one suitcase, one carry-on, and of course you might have a purse or a computer bag. It is extremely important, because of the distances that we're going to be going, that you don't bring more than you are allowed to have, because there's only so much room in these buses. And while they are prepared for your suitcases, one per person, They're not prepared for 2 suitcases a person plus 2 roll-ons, and some people overpack. I will be sending you packing lists and suggestions on how to pack for the Christmas market, but that is going to come later. When we transfer to Braunfels, we are going to be going directly to my friend's brewery. We're going to have a beer tasting pub lunch so that you can have some good traditional German food in a small town setting. We're going to talk all about German beer, how it's made, its tradition, and it'll give us also a chance to relax while we're waiting for the rooms to be ready in the village. Now, I have to make sure that you understand about Braunfels. It is a small village. There's not a lot to do there. We are occupying all of the hotels in town. There's the Castle Hotel, its satellite, and a few of you are even at my friend of mine's little bed and breakfast down the road because we filled up everything in the town. Once we arrive, I'll urge you to just get relaxed, have a little rest. I am going to create a kind of an Instagram scavenger hunt for you to enjoy the afternoon, for you to walk around the village and discover the village on your own. The Christmas market officially is on Saturday and Sunday, and so we'll be arriving on Friday, and you'll see they'll be starting to set up for the market. Local villagers will come on Friday and gather on the square for kind of a pre-Christmas market drink. That evening there are 2 or 3 restaurants in town. I've told them that we're coming, and I've kind of warned the steak restaurant that there will be quite a lot of you. But for dinner, you're on your own, but you can go to any of the restaurants. You might want to have some of the lovely traditional food that's in from the stalls, because even though the market's not open, they're already selling wine and food. And that evening will be on your own just to enjoy the atmosphere. It is a very special place. On Saturday, we're going to have 2 tours. We're going to have a little village tour, and we're going to have a castle tour. So the group is set up into 4 groups of 25. 2 groups of 25 will visit the castle in the morning. 2 groups of 25 will tour the village in the morning, and then we'll reverse it in the afternoon. Then you'll have some time to enjoy the Christmas market, and that evening we're going to have a very special Christmas feast at my friend's Italian restaurant. So that'll be that evening. On the next day, when we transfer down to Nuremberg, we will stop at the Christmas market for a few hours for you to enjoy the Christmas market before moving on to the ship, and don't plan on getting to the ship until somewhere around 5 o'clock. So we're getting ready to have lunch here on the Explorer Journey. I'm sure you can hear the commotion in the background. So I'm going to take a break for now and come back to you and talk about post-cruise and getting to the airports and all of those kinds of things as soon as lunch is over. So, be back to you soon. Love like we never grew.